It's just chicken.
Yeah, it's the chicken sandwich. We should not have called that. Terrible marketing there, Bill. We should never have called that the cock meat sandwich.
Hello, friends. Welcome to User Friendly. My name is Roberto, and I am the owner of Throwboy, and I'm here with my friend.
Hey, everyone, Elijah from the Cultcast. You might know me from the Little Apple Podcast. It's an audio podcast. You should check it out if you haven't heard it.
And User Friendly is a weekly show where we talk about tech news, our favorite stuff on the web, and other accoutrements.
Other technology accoutrements that geeky people... What? Dang it!
Oh, I don't want to be on the show anymore. Well, so episode 88.
Mm-hmm.
And feeling great. How are you?
Feeling great as well. Clink.
Perfect. That's all we had.
You know, I brought you a drink over there.
We're done now. Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, it's pure vodka.
I would be able to smell that vapor right here.
Yeah, you probably would. Besides the fact that that'd be like $30 worth of vodka.
No, that could be like $5, but it's just like
That's actually
you
true.
That's one thing you should not buy is cheap hard alcohol, because it's just like drinking straight up gasoline.
Do you
and
remember...
you have the worst headache. I do remember what you were telling me. Let's say it.
So we were in California, and we were at VidCon. This was like, what, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
It was like 2010 when we met, I think.
And we bought a bottle of vodka.
We wanted to get crunk.
Wanted to get crunked, but we wanted to do it.
No, I said crunk.
Oh.
You said chronic.
No, I said crunked.
Oh.
Yeah, chronic. I mean, no, we didn't smoke that bag of chronic I had. And so we were in California, and we went to like a drugstore, and in California the alcohol's so cheap, and you can just buy stuff in plastic bottles.
Right.
And it's literally just rubbing alcohol without the poison they add to it. You know, because they add poison to rubbing alcohol, so you don't buy it and drink it.
Yeah.
It was literally just that without the poison, and we drank way too much, way too late. And then that morning, after like 4 hours of sleep, I had to take a plane from Seattle from LA to Seattle, and then I got to Seattle, and an hour later I had to take a plane from Seattle to Iceland.
Yeah.
And I felt awful the entire flight. And then from Iceland to Amsterdam.
Yeah, Jesus,
man.
man.
I felt so terrible.
Yeah, see, like drinking cheap wine is fine. Like most of the time you can drink and you don't have a headache or nothing, but like cheap whiskey is horrible. Cheap rum is horrible.
Terrible.
Oh my gosh.
I think also if you're buying the cheap stuff, like you're buying it to drink.
Yeah, but then you try to like mix it, and even if you water it down, you still get really badly messed up.
Yeah, it's weird how it does make you feel that awful the next day. Yeah. And you know you're going to have a bad day when you wake up and you're just sweating. You know what I mean? And you're just like, oh my gosh.
Like, what did I even do last night?
I can't stop sweating, man.
There's a goat in the hotel room.
Yeah. Stifler's there.
Akbar's like,
see you later.
What happened?
Walks out with his girls in the bikinis. In the one-piece bikinis. He feels great, of course. He didn't even go to sleep, but he feels great all night.
It didn't go to sleep. All right, but dude, I was gonna tell you. Did you ever see? You were talking about putting your iPhone on your face, like Jordy LaForge, one of our heroes on the show. Mm-hmm.
For
and
sure.
Did you ever know that you can do? You can tell Siri, "Okay, glass."
Very funny, Roberto. I mean, not funny, haha, but funny.
Wow.
Wait,
that sounds way more realistic than the last Siri did.
Yeah. It does more too. Okay, glass.
I think that glass is half empty, Roberto.
Kind of rips on it.
Well,
and one of them says, "I'm not. You can't strap me to your forehead," or something like that.
Can I strap you to my forehead?
I'm not sure what that means.
Calling the authorities. Look how long it takes for my voice.
It never works for you.
Look how long it takes. It's still going.
We should try doing this.
Okay, I found this on the web.
Proof!
No, say okay, glass.
Okay, glass.
I'm not glass, and I'm just fine with that.
That was a dumb joke, Siri.
I don't know what that means. If you like, I can search the web for I would dumb joke Siri.
Proof positive. For all the people that are always like, it works perfect for me. What's wrong with you? I don't know. It doesn't work for me.
I think you expect too much. Like you like dress up the things that you should say to it. Like if
What do
you
you mean?
like,
you mean like say, okay, I
yeah,
get what
like
you're
I'll be
saying,
like
yeah.
open clock, and you'll be like, Siri, why don't you open the clock for me?
No, I don't do that.
It's
I'm
like-
very succinct in my sentences because I know it's not going to understand me even if I am succinct.
Here, let's do the same.
The voice
words.
really does sound a lot better.
Okay, let's do
in
the
iOS
same.
7.
Let's do the same thing.
Okay, you go first.
Okay. Open clock.
That's an easy one.
And it just opened it.
Okay. Open clock. That's going to
You'll
work.
need to unlock your iPhone first.
Okay, well, it opened afterwards.
You have such bad luck. That does not like you, man. All right, well, let's move on. Well, actually, no, we're going to talk about this. This is our
Yeah,
first
so
topic.
iOS 7.
Has shipped and is now installed, and it's more installed than the previous OS already. Did you know that?
I did not know that. What's
So-
the install base already?
I don't know, but it's beat out iOS 6.
iOS 7 install, not ISO. iOS 6 was huge. I mean, pretty much everyone was already running that.
See if you can find just straight up installed base.
Install. I wonder if Apple announced it.
It's
Doesn't really look like there's anything solid.
rocket
It's-
towards 40%.
But that's this is from 2 days ago, so who knows what it's at now.
Yeah.
This iOS 7, it wouldn't surprise me if it was the fastest installed iOS, at least for Apple,
Update,
in their
yeah.
history, because everyone knew about it. I mean, it's so popular. It's been all over the news.
Yeah, man. I was just at a family event, and like my non-techie family was like, "Oh, is that the iOS 7?" I was like,
My mom
Get outta
has it
here.
installed, and my brother have it installed.
"It's so bizarre." Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that they weren't even gonna know about it.
Well, yeah,
And
because does it actually pop up and go,
Yeah.
"You need it"?
yeah, it's like there's a software update available for you.
Because like
It walks you through the whole thing, and it's one of the reasons why
we both dug for it, right? Like you went to the.
I did. I
yeah.
restarted my phone
So that it would
and
show up.
just because it wasn't showing up when I was checking.
Yeah, so it's kind of surprising that it's because I mean no other OS has been like this, you know.
No, and the other thing also is like there's Android will never have the install base that Apple has because their phone market's so fragmented. And the big thing, of course, is that all the carriers that make their own phones or all the people that make their own phones can make their own version of Android. And you can't just install the Android update because it has to be skins and all that stuff. So if you have a Samsung phone and they've skinned Android, they're the ones that have to release the update for you, as far as I understand, because they have to go grab Android, redo all their skin and all the stuff that they had integrated with it, and then release it. And guess what? They never do that because
Yeah.
they don't care. Once you've bought
Once
the
you
phone,
bought it, it's gone.
they do not care about
Yeah.
updating it. And all the Apple devices, because they all get updated by Apple, we all get the newest stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and it's all the way compatible down to like 3GS or the 4, I think.
I
Right?
think it's the 4.
Okay.
Although I would wonder how well it works because maybe we should start
Well, my
talking
sister
about
has
this.
it. I didn't
Does
play
she?
with it, but she has a 4 and she had 7.
And did it work all right?
It seemed fine. I mean, the only obvious things that it wouldn't have would be like parallax and stuff, you know.
It doesn't have that?
No.
Oh, okay. Some people are turning that off anyway.
What was I gonna say? Well, you know, one cool thing about Android is cool names like Kit Kat.
Oh my gosh. You're trying to get me going. I know you are.
Sorry,
I think Android has the stupidest names. It's so poorly branded that it just makes me wonder why they don't. I was gonna say hire like a marketing team to name this stuff for them. I don't think that would help.
They're all fat guys eating.
It just sounds like a bunch of
pastries.
fat nerds naming this stuff. I mean, ice cream sandwich, jelly bean, honeycomb,
Yeah.
gingerbread, froyo. I don't even like saying that word. I don't even like saying that word. That sounds like a snack that obese people like. So,
Just lard is the next one.
yeah, the next one's just sugared lard.
I like that.
I just they don't have any type of iterative structure to their names, right? It's like none of these things, like it doesn't tell you what version the software is. Like you just have to know, and only nerds know. Right? Like if you had told me, hey, which version of Android is Honeycomb, and I didn't have this list sitting in front of me, I would have no idea.
No, I never keep up with it. It's always total, like, it's Aaron Hughes knows.
Yeah, because he's into Android.
Yeah.
And people that are into Android know, but guess what? Most people aren't into Android. They don't care about Android. They just want a cool phone. And so that's why I like the iOS. It's like, oh, iOS 7? Oh, that's newer than iOS 6. That makes sense. It's easy to remember.
iOS is a good name, too.
Yeah, iOS is a great name.
Okay, let's actually get into it.
So we both have iOS 7 installed.
We do.
I've been using it for 4 days now.
Yeah.
5 days now.
We both installed it when it actually was baked and put out. We didn't have betas.
Yep. Nope. Neither of us had betas.
And
which I'm really happy I did, because all the people that installed the betas were hating on it so hard. And for better or for worse, I mean, it could just be because they had a beta that wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I think this is a better way to do it.
Yeah, and I've talked about this on the show. I don't do that just because
I don't either.
I mean,
I actually want to use my phone.
Yeah, I want to use my
not
phone.
have bugs.
Yeah, for a month I don't want it to be buggy.
So why don't you start by telling me what you think about it?
Sure. So when after I installed it, I kind of like left the room because I was like, oh, this is gonna take forever. So I left it on my nightstand. And as soon as I bring it up, I was like, okay, this is gonna take some getting used to, because it was just like
very different.
Very, very different. And I, of course, I keep up with it. I know what it was gonna look like, but it's different when you hold it and you're messing with it. So overall, I'm probably like I'm probably past 60% completely comfortable with it, and I'm still discovering things that I like and don't like.
Me too.
And but I think it's very good that they did this. I think it's a very nice breath of fresh air into this platform. It's gonna make the old OS look so old in a little while. Like in a month, we're gonna be like, oh my god, it's like the old iPhone. How do you use that?
Terrible.
You know? And I think my eyes are starting to get adapted to the thin font.
Oh yeah, as glasses wear, that you definitely have a unique perspective.
At first it was just kind of like, well, I don't look at the font typically, like in terms of like the launch screen. That's what I'm looking at, because you just look at the icons anyway. But after a little while, it just becomes more readable. You know, you stop looking at it in a way that is, oh, that's different. Oh, that's different. It just becomes readable after a while. And I really like the animations. I like the parallax. I think it's really cool. Like once you first realize it's there, you're like, whoa, you start messing with it. Like,
yeah, it is. It's very cool, and it adds depth in a very, I don't know. It's a very immersive type of depth.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it really does feel like your icons are sitting on top of some type of space.
Right. Yeah, I like that a lot because they deliberately did that where they stripped out like shadows and making it look like it was like a fatter, dimension thing, and they added that. I think that's a really cool, unique thing. And it's so subtle that it's not a gimmick, you know? It's not like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like screw with it. It's not like that. It's just like,
yeah, a lot of people don't even notice that it's there.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that, and I think that I feel like can spark developers to think of using that technology in other ways. So I think that's kind of cool. Before I get into dislikes and likes, do you want to give us your first impression?
Yeah. So now that I've been using it a little while, I'm delighted. I'm actually surprised, and I've said this on Twitter because I was kind of expecting to not like it.
Okay.
And there are definitely things that I don't like, but I think overall, I really love the overall changes that they've made. I love the depth that's been added. You know, they took away all the shadow and all the like textured lighting that used to fall within the operating system, and all that stuff's gone. But they've added a new kind of depth, which I really love. I do like the animations as well, although those took some getting used to.
Me too, yeah. I'm still looking at them in a weird way. I'm like, okay, wait, what is it doing? Like, you know, like when you first... Like, if you remember when you first saw the animations for minimizing, it's kind of like that, where you keep playing with it, like on the Mac. Because there's so much attention to detail. You're like, okay, where is it? I can tell it's like blowing up a small image of the last thumbnail that it saw, you know, like, and then that gets big. Like, I don't know.
Oh man.
Like I keep looking at it, but anyway.
I do too. I like the overall just aesthetic of it. It feels very ethereal to me and very like light and airy and modern. And I really like the design aesthetic. And I know that it's kind of polarizing and some people like it and a lot of people don't. But I am kind of in the really happy category. I think it looks great.
I think airy is a good way to describe it because it makes the other one just seem so like, you know, like. So,
And it was texture laden.
Yeah,
and,
it's like
and
wood and like all that kind of crap.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And this is just much more stripped down. Which
hearing,
again is both a good and a bad thing.
I'm hearing positive stuff from non-techie people that are getting it and loving it and not feeling like they're lost, you know, like because that was a big thing. People thought that they stripped out a lot of things that were like pictogram type things, you know, that were icons that represented, that represents a microphone and this, you know, all these kind of real world things. They took those out and they basically replaced a lot of that with text. And so I think that was the worry that, then that means that a 3-year-old can't pick it up and play with it like we often hear, you know? But I don't think that's the case. It's not what I've been hearing. I've been hearing positive things from novice
I have
tech
too.
users.
I mean, the overall consensus that I've heard is people really like it.
Yeah.
And young people especially. We've heard from some of our Cultcast listeners on Twitter and stuff. And like the younger folks are really excited about it. And I think that Apple really needed to do this just because they needed to make a change.
Yeah.
And this paired with the 5C, I think is a really compelling offering for people that are young because they just look cool.
Yeah.
They're colorful and, you know, it kind of allows people, this is going to sound kind of dumb, but I think it's true, to feel like they can express themselves because they get something that they actually really like.
Yeah.
Maybe a color that they really like or something. And
Totally.
And the polish on this is at such a high level. I wasn't expecting it to be so high because it's a brand new kind of aesthetic. But everywhere I go, I keep finding all these little details that I really like. One I was looking at today was go into your clock app and go to the alarm and like just click activate an alarm and turn it off. And do you see that fade in and that fade out that happens? Like, look at that.
Here, I'll record it.
Okay. We'll show it to you guys because you don't have this installed. And it happens so fast that it's actually kind of hard to see. Whoops.
Hold on, it's focusing. Okay.
Focus, damn ya.
Don't move.
So you see that little gray that happens when you turn it off?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know what it's doing because it's happening so fast. But there's like that kind of stuff all over the operating system.
Yeah.
Where it's like such a minute detail, but it's apparent that somebody went through and thought about what needed to happen there and probably iterated through a bunch of different ideas and decided like this is what needs to happen. And when I see that happen, it pleases me.
Yeah.
It really makes me happy.
It's
like,
very Apple.
It's cool.
It's very Apple. And because it could be just gone.
A switch.
You don't need that, right?
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of the clock, I don't know if you saw my tweet. Have you noticed that the clock second hand on the icon
Yeah,
turns?
I didn't actually notice that, but somebody tweeted that at me. And he just said it told the time, and I was like, oh, really? It does? And then, yeah, the actual second hand moves on the icon itself.
Yeah.
And I would love... See, I don't know why Apple doesn't allow other icons to do this type of thing, this type of dynamic movements. They only allow it for themselves. And
because you like the tile type stuff, right?
And not even necessarily the tile. Like, do you see how like my Fantastical icon has a number?
Yeah.
You would think that means 22 notifications. That's what they use for the date.
Oh, so you can glance at it.
So I can see the date, but they can't put that on the actual icon itself.
Oh,
because
I get
Apple
it.
doesn't allow them to have a dynamic icon.
Besides for their own stuff, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, it's tough though because like an icon is different than a like a Microsoft phone tile. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you can get this semi okay experience, but it's not the best experience. You know. Anyway, so there's things I do like and things I don't like. I'm not quite a fan of the calendar.
I think the calendar is awful.
And I mean, you don't even use it, so
I don't use it, and I tried to use it just to see if it was good.
Yeah.
But it's so simplistic in its design.
it's tricky to get used to, dude.
I just don't think it's a good.
Can you record my screen?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll record your screen.
I'm already on my video, so here you go.
So like,
Hold on a sec.
it's
There we
just,
go.
It's just odd because, so this is like what you would expect, right?
Right.
And then when you actually tap on something, it takes you into the day view.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care about that. I just want to see at a glance what my appointments are. I don't want to go all the way through and then find, oh yeah, I need that.
Yeah.
You know, and
Right.
And then how do I get back? Calendar. Wait, no. I'm not trying to look dumb. Like I really didn't know how to get back just then.
Yeah, it was kind of confusing.
And then so it's like, why does it kick you into day view? I hate that. Like I never look at my calendar in day view. I always go click, see what I have to do. That's it. You know. And then I think it's just continuous, which I think is really weird.
That's actually the one part about it. The only thing about it that I really like.
Another one, just while we're on the topic of things I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, we have the same wallpaper. Good choice.
No, we don't.
That little space one?
Oh, I think you had clouds or something. Okay, so this is the music app. It's just kind of strange because they automatically put all of your stuff that you've downloaded off or that you've bought off the iTunes store into here, and it doesn't matter. Like anything you've bought has to show up in here, which takes up a lot of space. And you're like, dude, I don't care about that stuff I bought like in 2004, you know? And
Hey, Spin Doctors!
yeah, it's like all there. And then I'll be... Oh, and another really weird thing. So instead of leaving out album art, if you don't have album art, it just puts in like stock photos of the artist.
Oh.
So like if you didn't have album art, I guess they just didn't want it to look ugly anymore because now it has like actual like not even the album covers, just like stock photos of these people.
I actually do like that.
So it's kind of weird because if you're me, like if it was your phone, you're looking at it and you're like, oh wait, what is that? I've never seen that picture before. What am I looking at? You know, so it's kind of jarring. And then lastly, they got rid of cover flow.
Good.
And now it's like just a bunch of pictures of.
I like that better.
This works way better.
I like that better.
This is way better. I mean, you can see at a glance like what you want to see, and then now you're in. But see,
cool.
like this, I don't have on my phone, so I can listen to it, I guess, or I can.
Do you have
download
iTunes
it.
Match?
No.
But it just lets you re-download it from right there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And this is kind of weird too. There's no X's, so you're like, oh, I don't know. Okay.
How do I get out of it?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's just kind of some strange things.
Yeah.
Because I was making a playlist today, and it's letting me choose from all sorts of stuff, even stuff that I downloaded, you know, that I bought forever ago. And I'm like, okay, so wait, I'm adding these to the playlist, and then wait, oh, I can't really use this on my run. I need to download all those things that I just put into the playlist, you know?
Oh, right.
And there's no download all button, and it doesn't auto download because you put it into a playlist.
Right.
So there's just these like weird little touches that
Like
are
these
kind of
little
weird.
quirks.
Yeah. So I'm just still kind of getting used to it, and I've been talking to my friend a lot. I'm like, hey, did you notice this? Is this different?
There's so much new stuff on here.
And then mail is the icon, like some of the iconography that's so like tiny thin lines.
Yeah.
It's like that's just gonna take getting used to, I guess. But tell me if this resonates with you. If this was an Apple, you would be mad. Like if this was an Apple putting out this, you probably wouldn't like it that much because we have to use it, you know? Like where there's nothing we can do. We have to use it.
You do have to use
right?
it. That's true. Your only other option is to buy like a 3GS or something.
And roll back.
You could continue using older software too. That's also an option. I think overall I would like it. It's hard to say yes or no to that question because I don't know what it would be like if this were an Android phone.
Like if
Because
somebody
I do still feel like it's an Apple phone. Like there's
Okay.
stuff that they've added where I'm like, oh, this is a very Apple thing to do.
Yeah.
Like they anticipated I was going to try this, and
Yeah.
it works the way I think it's going to work. But the icons are awful. They're really terrible. They're so simplistic. Again, it's like the calendar app where they took it, they boiled it down so much that now it just looks plain. Like the camera icon, I think looks hideous.
Yeah.
The Safari one I can actually tolerate. I don't like the shades of green that they've used for the phone and the messages in the FaceTime app. They're like neon green.
Super bright.
They're way too bright. The settings app looks weird. It's like grayish brown to me. They're just too flat. I don't like them. And I hope that other icons don't follow suit. Some of them have already updated to iOS 7. I'm trying to find Evernote because the Evernote update I thought was actually really good. And there we go. It's right here.
Yeah, I have it.
So I think the Evernote update looks pretty good.
They didn't change it too much.
They didn't change it too much.
Dude, you know who changed a lot? Pandora. Did you see they changed their logo?
Oh, I think the Pandora app looks great.
They changed their P. Did you see that? The P in Pandora changed.
Yeah. I love the new P. Yeah, the Pandora app looks really good. Facebook app I think looks also quite good.
That one's not bad either.
It's like they implemented the spirit of the update, but they didn't make their app look simple and
and just like completely like throw out the kitchen sink and then try again. Yeah.
I'm just gonna show you a white page. Like my biggest pet peeve about this, especially some of the apps I've seen that have done this, it drives me berserk because Windows Phone does this too. Is like, let's say you're looking at a list of choices and it just shows you a white background and like 5 words that you can click on and they're all lowercase.
Yeah.
That to me is bad design. I don't think that's a good way to do things. It's being simple for simple's sake and I just don't think it looks good.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same. I share that sentiment about like clean, quote unquote, doesn't mean a good design, you know?
Yeah.
Because some people don't know what that really entails and they just make it the most austere thing in the world, like you said, like a list of Helvetica, you know? It's like, that's not clean and good.
Yeah.
Clean doesn't always mean good, you know?
No, sometimes it just means basic and it's too basic.
I wonder if apps that are supposed to look like old things, like Instagram, like their icon, I wonder if that's going to change a lot.
You know, I don't...
Just to fit in,
I don't know. It's tough. I don't think they'll change their icon because that's essential to their brand.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they're not gonna dilute their brand just to have an icon that looks Apple-y on the iPhone. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think that would be a dumb move. Like the Instagram logo looks way nicer than the stupid iOS camera logo. This camera logo looks so dumb. It's just a gray icon with a black like analog camera on it.
And that's probably what they would try to do if they went flat.
I mean, honestly, that's what they'd have to do, right?
Yeah.
It's just a camera icon. Oh gosh, I despise that. I despise that icon. It looks so bad.
Oh, okay, I have a really, really big pet peeve. So maybe you can you can record this while I show you. I'm trying to find somebody that I can... I'll just say it's from you. Okay, let's say I'm texting you, right? Mm-hmm. Can you see this? Mm-hmm. And I was listening to a podcast, and now I want to listen to that podcast again. And it's really usually it's really hard for me to swipe up from when I have a keyboard up.
Okay.
Like I really had to be like deliberate about that. Mm-hmm. But like I can't tell you how often I'm double tapping to get to the stupid slider thing to turn back on my music because I'm either listening to music or listening to a podcast on my phone, and then I'm texting somebody and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to get back to the stupid.
Oh, it doesn't
thing.
do it easily.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that happens a lot to me where I can't get back because everything is under Notification Center no matter what, and it's like, well, that little play button is so like. You're going to use that all the time. Do I really have to go into stupid Notification Center to put that on?
So you find like you're double tapping to do it all the time?
Yeah, because I'm used to that.
Me too. Exactly.
And I'm like, I'd be fine with Notification Center if it actually swiped up and worked every time, you know? And it doesn't seem to do that. And I don't have that problem with swiping down for searching or swiping down from the very top for my notifications.
Dude, look at that. I mean, look. It just won't work in the camera app at all. Like, look at that.
Yeah, because the camera thinks that you want to tap the red button, and then you have to swipe like 4 times for it to register.
Look, it freaking turned on the record again.
I think that's really annoying.
Yeah, I've had problems swiping up too. A lot of times, unless you are very intentional about swiping up from the bottom of the screen, like it doesn't notice the swipe. Really, what they need to do is make it more like one of my favorite features, which is the spotlight functionality. Whereas before, you had to swipe all the way to the left.
Yeah.
And now on any page that when you're looking at home screen buttons, you
do
can
it
just
from
tap
anywhere.
and pull it down.
Yeah.
Do you see how jumpy that was? Did you see there was no animation? It just immediately jumped into reminder or into spotlight. So you should be able to do that from anywhere. Like you should be able to just swipe up and have it pop up.
That would be really nice.
That's what they need to do. I don't know why they would make Spotlight have that functionality, but then not have that for Control Center.
You know what I was just thinking? Have they abandoned the name Spotlight from iOS?
I don't think so.
It's called Search on iPhone. It says
Oh, search iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I thought they were calling it Spotlight,
Okay.
but then in the dialog box it says Search.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I mean those new things are kind of weird. It's like it took me really no time to get used to the down swipe. But
yeah. Well, the down swipe works from anywhere on the screen.
yeah.
And so does swipe to unlock. Like you can swipe to unlock anywhere on the screen. I mean, look at this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hey.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Can I show you this though? One of my biggest pet peeves right now. Swipe down, right?
Whoa, hold on.
Okay, sure. Okay, so you swipe down and you start typing, right? And you're like, I want to go to the App Store, or whoops,
The App Store.
I want to go to the eBay app. I can't type when I'm holding it at this angle. But do you see how it's not instantaneous? Like when I type, it takes a second
it delays for you?
It delays for a second. And let me think of another app. Let's go to Xbox. Oops. Glass. I can't freaking type when this is on glass.
Just face it towards you.
Okay, did you see that? So I typed glass and it took like a second for like the glass app to actually jump in the search results. And what ends up happening to me all the time is because the last spotlight was pretty much instantaneous.
Yeah.
Is I'll type that and then it's in a position on my screen and I go to hit it and then it jumps and I
Yeah.
end up hitting something else.
Okay.
It happens to me all the time now and it's infuriating.
I hope these little bug things that are just like, I think they're definitely valid arguments. I hope that they fix them. You know.
I don't think that this is something they're gonna fix. I think that the A7 processor, which is in the new iPhone, is powerful enough to run this operating system seamlessly, and I don't think that the A6 is any longer. It lurches a little bit.
I can't imagine what you're doing if you have an iPhone 4 and you're running this.
It would probably be so slow. You
Yeah.
would just have to be really patient. But see, that's not a feature. Like having the operating system run fast enough, I don't think that's a feature. That's not something that you should have to buy a new phone to deal with. Or to get, I should say.
Yeah. This is kind of an Apple thing, though, man. Like, you know, if your mom had like a old MacBook, you wouldn't be like, yeah, you should totally put Mountain Lion on that. You'd be like, no, don't leave it how it is, because if you install
true.
something else, it's gonna be molasses, you know.
But dude, this phone is only a year old. Like this is really. There's so many features on iOS 7 that are performance intensive or draw power that it really makes this phone feel older than it did on iOS 6. This phone felt great on iOS 6, and now it feels slightly old to me because it's not performing as fast.
I know what you mean.
And then also the battery life for me has been a huge issue.
Oh, I feel like I got better battery life.
Some people have said that, but definitely not me. And I think that if my experiment goes as planned, that this is going to have something to do with your background apps refreshing.
Oh.
So, or I should say, apps refreshing in the background, which is a feature that you can turn on or off. And that would to me explain why some people are experiencing better battery life and some people aren't, because like we don't have the same apps.
Yeah.
So if I have apps that are refreshing themselves in the background more often and using GPS and using location information and all that stuff, then my battery is going to get drained a lot faster than yours if you don't have apps that take advantage of that, API.
Yeah.
So I turned it off, and by this time yesterday, I was probably at, I don't know, I would say 15% battery life, and now I'm at 27%. So I'm going to try this over the next few days just to see. I turned that functionality off to see if it makes a difference.
Have you opened up your compass yet? I want to show you how they
so.
calibrate it now. It's really cool.
Oh, I did open it.
Okay,
yes,
you
and I
did.
calibrated it already. Dude, I always keep trying to... Muscle memory is a big thing right now, right? Like, we're all used to iOS 6 and iOS 5 and iOS 4. And don't you find your fingers just doing things and you're like, oh, that doesn't work anymore?
Yeah, I keep swiping to the side. The one big one, which I think is not that great, is the swipe to delete email has changed to the other way.
Oh.
It's really
Crazy.
yeah, it's so dumb. Like, why the other way all of a sudden to archive or delete email?
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's
I
like,
guess I use Mailbox and you have to swipe both directions for different functionalities.
that's
So
what I
for
thought.
me-
That's what I thought they were doing, and
Yeah.
it looks a lot like Mailbox now. See, it's like all square.
Yep.
I
I actually do like the new Mail app.
But yeah, it's just annoying, man. Because like now, a week in or whatever, several days in, I'm getting a little bit more accustomed to it. But just little things like that, where you're like, okay, where are you going with this? Like, is there something else we're gonna be learning and doing in more apps that behave this way, or did you just change it because you changed it?
Oh, I see what your point is. Yeah, like why would you change this?
Yeah.
Maybe because now you swipe it from right to left or from left to right.
From right to left.
So, interesting. So now you just swipe it from right to left.
I'm trying to think
Maybe
of like
it's because
what other...
most people who hold their phone are right-handed, and for them, it's a more natural movement to go from right to left.
It would be like Irfan. It would be like them changing the swipe of the icons to the other way.
Right?
Yeah, you're
I
just
guess
like,
that's a
why?
good point. And you're like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
I was just thinking that maybe they were trying to make it more right-hander friendly, but then why wouldn't they change the icon
Yeah.
direction too?
Yeah, it's kind of like natural scrolling on the Mac, right? Where they screwed that up and everyone changed it back. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, yeah. Well, actually, if you think about natural movements, you used to swipe from left to right.
Yeah.
So now you're actually swiping the same direction as with your icons, right? Because you're going from right to left to go from newest to oldest. So now actually the Mail swipe direction is a more natural swipe. Now that it's actually in line with the icons because you're going from this way to this way, right?
Yeah.
Rather than the other direction.
But why is that way considered negative? The way that you're going?
What do you mean on the icons?
Yeah.
I think the reason they did this way is just because it's like reading a book. Like when you flip the page, this is the direction you flip to go from forward to backwards.
Oh, and you're saying they're just trying to match it with Mail?
Yeah,
That
and
you go
now
like
Mail
that
does the
and
same
does
thing.
some sort of action.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
I don't know. I'm not a UX
No, and
designer, but
I mean that's the kind of stuff I think about. And even if I have some sort of explanation, like some blueprint for an explanation, it makes me kind of go, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Like I read I think it was like some like New York Times or some interview with Johnny Ive talking about iOS 7.
Oh, I think it was USA Today, wasn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Because he did some interview.
And
with
so
them.
he did an interview, and just reading that and even just reading like kind of the quotes gives you a little bit more of that's why they changed it so much, And just hearing
I
a
would
little bit
love
of
to
that
read more of that
is
kind
nice
of stuff.
for me. I don't know.
Was it USA Today?
I think you're right.
Because I would love to.
USA Today sounded so like not big, so I was like, I don't think it's USA Today's.
Yes, Johnny. Okay, well, I mean, they did something with Johnny Ive.
Yeah.
Johnny Ive did a wow. This got shared a lot. So USA Today did do an interview with Johnny Ive. I don't know if it talks about iOS 7.
We should probably move on.
This is a long article.
Yeah.
Holy smokes! This is going to the read later. Yeah, let's move on. There's so much stuff in iOS 7 we could talk about, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a huge change that we're gonna be talking about this on the Cultcast too. We're gonna try and give out some more tips and stuff because As I've been using this, there's little things that have cropped up where I'm like, oh, how do you do this, or how do you change that, or here's how you can do things that make your phone better, or whatever. So
yeah, and if you like or dislike something, leave it in the comments so we can.
Yeah, we'd like to hear what you guys are thinking about it too. Okay, cool. Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's see here. What do we got?
I have this
next
Kickstarter thing.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Kickstarter, and then by the way, we're gonna be announcing a new Netflix review. Are we going with mine? We both had a suggestion this show.
Yeah, we're going with
This is gonna be a good one that you're not gonna wanna miss.
What's that from?
That's just something I made. That's from the movie Boxing Man 3000.
Oh yeah.
Have you not seen that?
I think you're thinking of Mr. 3000.
Mr. Boxer Man 3000. That was a good movie.
All right.
Okay, show me this wonderful Netflix review.
So this is actually not actually a Kickstarter. It's like the way that Locatron did their own campaign on their website.
Uh-huh.
So this is something I really, really want to know what you think of. So this is called...
What?
Just wait, okay? This is called Soylent.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of this now.
And it is a food substitute. Like, basically, they want to revolutionize nutrition. And this raised over $1 million. I was trying to get $100,000 and on their own website. And I thought we could watch the video.
Okay.
Entirely on Soylent for the past 3 months. I've never been healthier in my life.
Food is fuel, but it's also a fun social experience. A meal for fuel should be nutritious, quick, easy, and affordable. If you have the time or money to eat out with friends, you should. I love food. I just don't eat 21 nice meals a week.
Cooking was originally developed to make it easier to extract nutrients from food. Soylent advances this concept even further by providing all the calories and nutrients the human body requires for optimal function and refining them into their purest form. We also add beneficial extras such as antioxidants, probiotics, and nootropics. It's everything the body needs, with no toxins, no allergens,
Yummy.
no carcinogens, no waste. And it's delicious.
Soylent is perfectly tailored to your body and lifestyle. It makes it easy to do the things that you want to do. It requires no shopping, no preparation, no cooking, and no cleaning. It constitutes a perfectly balanced meal and gets rid of hunger immediately. That gives you total control over your nutrition. It makes it easy to manage physical activity or weight.
World hunger is a logistics problem. We produce plenty of food. It's the storage and distribution that's problematic. Soylent requires no refrigeration, no cookware, and doesn't spoil for years. It is also far more efficient by weight and volume than traditional food. Every ounce is used by the body for energy and nutrition, and the body doesn't have to get rid of unused waste. By lowering sanitation requirements,
You'll never poop
Yeah, I
again.
was just thinking that.
and easing storage and transportation, this could have a significant impact on the planet, reducing hunger and subsistence farming, as well as cooking, cleaning, and especially agricultural practices that are harmful to both humans and the environment. We need your help to produce Soylent at scale, setting up a manufacturing process, improving precision, control, customization, and lowering costs, thereby creating an efficient form of fuel for humanity for the first time in history. We need your help to create the future of food.
Please help us in our mission.
We can't do it without your help.
Thank you.
Okay. What do you think, Erfan?
I think people are out of their minds. People are out of their minds. I mean, like, it's so funny these guys have a straight face, like, originally food was invented to enhance the nutrition of people cooking. It's like, no, food tastes good when you cook it. And it also kills bacteria and stuff, by the way. Who the hell wants to drink a creamy white drink in place of food? He's like, I've only been living on Soylent for for the last 3 months, and I haven't defecated in 4. Personal opinion here. Personal opinion alert.
Yeah.
POS or POA. I should just start calling it that. POA. I don't personally believe that genetically modified or humanly engineered foods are what we were designed to eat. And I don't think that you can just take a vitamin and put it in a food and say, there's your vitamin. I don't think that food works that way. I think there's a lot of things about it that we don't understand. And I'm shocked that this has raised $1 million. Truly shocked.
More than $1 million, yeah.
More than $1 million? Okay.
Yeah.
I would never try to subsist off this. This sounds like, Slim Fast saying never eat again. All you need to do is drink Slim Fast. Who wants to do that?
Yeah.
Who wants to drink the same crap every single day? I mean, if it's a dieting product and you're using it like once a day, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But replacing food, and I don't buy it's going to solve world hunger, and I don't buy that people are going to be healthier if they just subsist off this, what looks like to be bull semen. This just kept reminding me of that scene from Kingpin, which I recently watched, where he comes up and he's like, I milked your cow. He's like, she's stubborn, but I got it. He drinks this thing of milk from this big bucket, and they go, we don't have a cow, we have a bull.
That actually reminds me of a different movie. So why? I'm gonna try to find that clip. But why do you think that it's not something that would be helpful for world hunger?
I don't know, because people want to eat. If you were giving it to starving people, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
But you're not going to go to an entire population in Africa and say, don't worry about crops, don't worry about animals, just drink this thick, creamy drink, and you're going to be good, and we're going to ship it here for you, and that's going to be all that you need to live.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's, to me, like, since it was bred from this kind of like I live too fast of a lifestyle type of thing, that's just really kind of bums me out,
Yes, me too.
That you think that one less thing to worry about is just like, it's like, why not just have an IV every time you go to bed,
Yeah.
If you just want to not be a mammal and not eat, like, I think that's just really kind of like sucky that would be like your go-to.
I agree. I agree. It's like, and I think there's a spiritual aspect to food.
Yeah.
And eating with people and
they mention that, but I don't know if they really.
There's a reason that we have teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. I don't know.
This seems like a drink. Like, I was watching these guys, and I'm like, these guys are talking about being so busy that they just want to drink their meals. I'm like, these kind of seem like two, like, highly educated people that maybe spent a lot of time in school and didn't really have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And needed to drink their food from a straw.
Yeah, I don't know. That part of it is kind of like, I don't know. To me, it goes to another thought process of, like, can we slow down and appreciate things? Like, stop working for a little while and go make a meal for yourself, Like,
yeah, go make a sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm a workaholic, I guess, and I've gone through times up until very recently where I'm actually going, you know what, I need to take a break and go eat and take a lunch break for an hour.
Yeah.
And not worry about my work.
Yeah. And just relax.
And that's how people lived for a very long time, where they were taking actual breaks from life, and I mean from work.
No, must work 20 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it for me that it makes me kind of like, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. Just I was gonna try to play devil's advocate because I'm with you, but I mean you kind of made a good point about the trying to solve world hunger with this. If they're starving, yeah. Right?
I'm honestly shocked that raised $1 million. Like, that just makes me think people are out of their darn minds.
What do you think people are thinking that got that?
I think they are buying into the promise of, I can just live off this and I don't have to buy food, which, by the way, this guy's like, I've been living off this for 3 months. 3 months is nothing. And who knows what's wrong with his body after drinking this, this beaker manufactured food, and what's going to happen to this guy in 5 years, in 10 years? there's no way this guy is going to be able to live 10 years off this drink, and he's probably not even going to try.
Yeah.
And I think people buy into the promise that they're going to be able to live off this stuff.
And we're learning stuff about like regular food that, 20 years ago, like people were drinking cow's milk like crazy. And now we're like, you shouldn't drink cow's milk. You know?
Yeah.
So
that's true. Now it's gotta be bull.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that we're still learning about food and nutrition and everything. So
I agree. Where the heck did you find that?
My friend showed it to me, and John showed it to me. I guess.
Did he order some?
He said he would do it. He said he would live off that.
Oh, he thinks he would. It's like, then after a while, after like 3 months, when you're emaciated and you're like, I haven't pooped in 3 months, and I actually really enjoyed pooping.
Do you think that they meant that you don't pee or poop?
Well, you would have to, but you probably would do it a lot less, would be my guess. I mean, you definitely have to still pee. It's a freaking drink mixed with water. I just, like, you would have to pay me to live off that stuff. Soylent would have to send me a check. By the way, Soylent, the most unappetizing name ever created.
Because, like, Soylent Green.
Oh, is that what it's supposed to be?
No. Like, that's what it makes you think of.
Soylent Green.
You know that one? The movie? The movie is, like, basically, it's, I haven't seen it.
Is it like a nutritional type movie? Like everyone should be eating?
Yeah, like everyone is eating this thing. They don't know what it is, and at the end they find out it's actually humans in the Soylent Green.
I'm assuming it's fiction.
Yeah, it's fiction.
It's a work of fiction.
Yeah.
I don't know. That guy, he was so like, his glare was so focused, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was a serial killer. That's all I'm saying. Because I think these guys might be serial killers. And the white powder that they're selling is just the crushed up bones from their victims. So if you buy it, you're basically a cannibal. I'm just going to put that out there.
Crushed up bones. Oh, boy.
And all of them had to put on lotion before they died. Okay. That's so gnarly. Ugh.
You don't even really like... You're pretty careful with what you eat, right?
I try to be.
Yeah.
I love...
What's your kind of philosophy about eating naturally and all that kind
I
of
try
stuff?
to eat just simply.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot... I don't think that genetically modified or engineered foods are real foods. I don't think that your body really knows what to do with chemically processed stuff. And like when you take like vitamins from the store... I kind of feel that when humans think they understand like all the nutritional structures and everything that goes on in food and try to replicate that, they only end up making kind of a specter of what the food actually really is in nature, and that your body doesn't really know how to process it. So for me, I would never do that. I would just eat nutritious foods.
Yeah.
It's not that time consuming.
Yeah.
Take a freaking half-hour break and eat a salad.
Oh, boy. All
right, cool. So,
I'm trying to find this thing. I'll find it by the end of the show.
should we talk about the Netflix review?
Yeah, we definitely should.
So, okay, next week we're going to be doing an all-new Netflix review, which is, of course, a segment where we tell you what movie we're going to watch a week before we review it so that you can watch it too. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Because this movie is actually not available on Netflix. But as I know, you guys out there are all very savvy. You'll be able to find this movie in some way if you want to watch it with us. Yeah, just joking. Don't pirate it.
I know what you mean. Blockbuster Video.
Blockbuster Video. Get out your Blockbuster card. Sorry. I love me some Blockbuster. So, it is available on Amazon Prime. So if you're in the U.S. and you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can go find it. It is called... Sound City. It's a documentary made by Dave Grohl about this really famous music studio in California that had all sorts of amazing artists pass through it. And neither of us have watched it, but Dave Grohl felt compelled. He's the former drummer of Nirvana, current singer of Foo Fighters, guitar player of Foo Fighters. And he felt compelled to make this documentary because this place had such an incredible history with so many different artists going through its doors and recording on its sound
huge
equipment.
records. Yeah.
Huge popular records that everybody would know. And I guess the place was being torn down and a lot of the equipment was going to be sold off and stuff. So he took the opportunity to make a documentary before that happened.
Yeah.
It's called Sound City. It's gotten incredible reviews. So we're going to be watching that.
It's really new. It just came out like last year.
It's 2000. This might be the newest documentary we've ever watched.
Yeah, I wanted to watch this. I saw this floating around on Twitter, and that was my trade. I learned how to be a recording engineer after high school, so I was like, I really want to watch that. That sounds really interesting, you know, because the industry has changed like crazy, especially with, you know, personal computers being able to replicate recording studios better and better and better until now you can record a whole album in like your dorm room, you know?
Yeah.
And so these
The Roots
studios
freaking recorded an album in GarageBand.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
that's
they did
amazing.
an album in GarageBand.
Yeah, dude. I mean, because now the technology is so transparent, you don't have to have very much to replicate, you know. But I mean, things you can't replicate would be like the actual studio, if you need to record like a big room sound. Some of that stuff is difficult to replicate. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these studios in New York have all closed down, in LA have all closed down. The one that I worked at, it actually is more of a... They're not advertising that they're a studio anymore, so it's kind of like you have to know people to be able to like go record there. Yeah, so the industry's changed a lot, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I want to hear about, you know, what the shift was for this, you know, huge recording studio that recorded like so many popular bands and everything like that. So
yeah, me too. So Sound City, check it out. You'll have a whole week, and we'll be reviewing that for next week. It's funny. It's not like we can spoil anything for anyone, so we don't have to worry about spoiler alerts because it's a documentary. But it's way more fun if you actually watch it and then we get to review it with you.
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna find this clip, but
Yeah. I've never seen that movie.
oh, it's so funny.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I thought it was dumb just because it was like basketball. Really?
that's funny, man. But I'll keep trying.
Okay. Well, while you're trying, let's go ahead and wrap her up.
All right.
So you can catch episodes of User Friendly on iTunes in both audio and video. Just search for User Friendly Show and it will appear. Just click the audio or the video format and go ahead and download it. That's the best way because it gets delivered directly to you as soon as it's up. We're also on YouTube, User Friendly Show, so youtube.com User Friendly Show, and also on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Search for User Friendly Show pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. And you can find me on Twitter. I'm just at Roberto Hoyos, RobertoHoyos. You?
I'm at Erfon, ERFON.
Cool. Well, episode 88. Thank you.
Oh, we're not going to do the clip?
I'll put it at the end.
Okay, is that Yasmin Bleeth?
Yes, it is.
I cannot believe that just came out of my brain. Thank you, brain, for pulling out that worthless piece of information. Okay, yeah, episode 87.
No, 88.
88. Can't remember that part, though. I can remember freaking Baywatch Babe from the 90s, but not our episode number.
So...
And we will see you guys...
No, we're not doing that anymore.
What are we doing now?
I don't know. Make it up.
Okay, so... Until the next episode...
No. Why do you go da-da-da-da-da?
Okay.
Da-da-da, da-da-da. Do something that's not that.
Okay. See you next time.
Hernandez, look. Fat liposuctioned out of Marlon Brando's ass. Oh no. What am I doing here? Oh, it's all salty and warm. Why did I do this? Oh, this guy ate a lot of pork. Oh. Like, damn it. Dude, I thought it was a killer psych out. Really? Shake it off, shake it off. I got this guy.